Hi, I'm Jennifer Janish, owner of Adored Salon and Adored Signature Hand-Tied Hair Extensions. I'm obsessed with curly hair. I cut it, style it, and extend it, and this podcast is all about my curly girl obsessions. Hey, it's me, Jennifer, from Adored Signature Hand-Tied Hair, Adored Salon, and Jennifer behind the chair, Jennifer the educator. Super exciting topic today. I am pulling back the curtain on business building within the salon and the extension line and the education that we have rolling out for you. So today, we're getting ready to go to Atlanta. We have an upcoming class for the install methods that we teach through Adored Signature and the blueprint to a curly install. We're super excited about this, and I know I'm the only person speaking about it, but trust me when I tell you that when there's a class coming up, it's all hands on deck in the salon because there's so much to be done, namely like getting the hair ready for the model. And this was crazy, exciting, and stressful all in one because we're doing a redhead. And I mainly do blondes and brunettes that are like a lived in pretty look. Redheads usually are left up to Jackie and Chloe. Thank goodness Chloe's coming on this trip with me. But surprisingly, I handled it all myself, and the hair is freaking fire. But I can't say that I handled it all myself because I didn't do the actual coloring of the wefts myself. Maya, who works here as a stylist in training, was the one left with this task. And it's funny how we discuss things in the salon, and the stylists that work here with me know my broken stylist language. It really is a thing. I speak a lot in half sentences and expect people to know how to finish them. And it's not that I do this to be deceiving or manipulating. It's just that that's just the way my freaking brain works. Like, I will start to discuss something and I'm like, okay, Maya, take one weft and let's test out half 6AA, half 9AA, because we had to fill blonde wefts in order to create the red hair. And I handed Maya a bundle of 4 wefts, and I'm like, take off the string and whatever, right? And I go on to do my client because I'm like, okay, well, if she has questions, she's gonna ask me, right? And about 15 minutes pass, and I walk in the back room, and all 4 blonde wefts had red color on them. And I was like, uh-oh. I mean, that's a lot of money sitting on the counter covered in red color, right? And I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking it's going to be okay, but shit, if it's not, this is a lot of money. And I'm like, Maya, what exactly did you do? And she's like, I did half 6AA and half 9AA. I go, half the west 6AA, half 9AA? And she's like, no, I made the formula half 6AA, half 9AA, and I filled all 4 wefts with it. And my mouth just about hit the ground, right? I'm like, I meant one weft, half 6AA, half 9AA. And she's like, I'm like, but don't worry, it's going to be fine because, in the world of hair, if it's not, we can fix anything. So it'll be fine. And surprisingly, it was perfect. It was exactly what we needed to have happen with filling the wefts. So, whew, thank goodness. The next day, we started in on now actually the color. And I said, okay, Maya, we're going to test these colors, 2 colors on each weft, right? Do a test strand because I need to see how they look so we can move forward with coloring them the actual color that we're going to color them. She's like, okay, no problem. And I go back there and the test strand's like this wide on a weft that's this wide. And I'm like, oh, and she's like, what's wrong? Did you want it to be smaller? I'm like, well, like this small and it's this big. And some of it's really, really dark and some of it's super vibrant. And she's like, oh, but I'm like, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We'll we'll get through this, no problem. And, that becomes a learning lesson to me. Like if someone doesn't question me with what I'm telling them, I think that they've got it under control. But what the girls told me in the salon is that I'll tell them something and then they always repeat it back to me so they know exactly what I'm talking about. And if they repeat it back to me in my broken extension language and it doesn't make sense to me, well, then we can fix it, right? Right. So Maya's just learning though. And this was a really good learning process for her and I, as the person in charge of these expensive wefts. And so then we went through all that and we got the colors figured out what we're going to use as far as the bulk of them. Then we came to this point where we needed some highlights and what we would call it highlights and lowlights, but we were kind of doing the reverse on this. We were weaving out a section that was going to be a brighter color variation, but we're not using lightener because it's hair extensions. We're just depositing color. So we called it the low light. We wrote it down as the low light. And then the background color was actually going to be the darker color. And I thought we're all clear, all good, but we use the word low light. So what happens? I go back there 10 minutes later and Maya's having a full blown panic attack because she saw the word low light, knew the color that she was using was the lighter, brighter color, but didn't understand, like, thought she did something wrong, right? And I'm a jokester in the salon. Like, I just crack myself up, even if it doesn't crack up everybody else. And today I realized, like, okay, some people you just have to be careful with, or it's the fact that poor Maya had been working on these freaking wefts for 2 days straight and was probably at her wits' end, high on the stupid fumes from the ammonia and the color, and just over being in the back room coloring these wefts. That's really what happened. So I'm like, Maya, if it's wrong, you're just gonna fix it. And she's like, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna need, like, I don't even know what I did wrong. I'm like, well, I'm sure you know what you did wrong. Write it down and tell me, and then you're gonna make it perfect. And that still was not the answer she was wanting. But guess what? She actually did make it freaking perfect. The word low light we should have phrased as the pickup hair and not the word low light. And all things would have been perfect. Learning lesson for me and the entire team in the salon, because everybody was here to witness this, that when you're working with a new stylist in training, you can't communicate enough, and that stylist cannot ask enough questions. Maya knows now she's got to repeat everything I say because the minute I say it and it's out of my mouth and the person has walked away, I'm on to the next thing. My brain is working on the next thing, and it's usually my client and the million other tabs that are open up here that I can't seem to close. So that was the getting ready for the class in Georgia. And then I had to send stuff to the printer to be printed for our workbooks. Like there's so much mechanics going on behind the scenes that nobody sees because it's like, oh, it's just all done for you, but it's not just all done for you. I am the person ordering everything. Celia is the person keeping a really good log of everything that has to go in these bags, that has to go in the extension kits. If it wasn't for her with this, I don't even know where we'd be because she's so organized and she helps me really well in that area. And when we're in the class, the next part that's interesting is this is a 3-day class. It's a lot of talking. And the last time I had a 3-day class, I got to the point where I couldn't talk anymore, which is surprising even for me. And luckily, Chloe was helping me that day, and she is able to finish my sentences a lot of the time because she works so closely with me when she started her career and now through this whole training thing. I feel like Chloe knows what's going on in my brain with these 100 tabs open the majority of the time. So huge help, right? And Celia too. So it'll be good. Everything will get done. And while all this is going on last week, I also met with the person who helps me with the marketing. And I had had this epiphany a while ago, knowing that the extension line has stylists that follow us, that the majority of them are experienced extension artists. The salon has experienced stylists, some stylists in beauty school, and experienced extension artists following that know of us. And I'm like, if I want my education to grow, I've got to start with the newer stylist. Similar to when I rebuilt the salon after COVID, like I knew the experienced stylists, a lot of them moved on to their own. And I also knew that I just wanted a younger stylist in here, someone that I could train and mentor and lift up to do all the things that we do at Adored Salon, curly hair and hair extensions, and that they would eventually be able to finish my broken extension language because those are the people that you need on your team. You got to find the right people to work with in order to have a successful business. This is anywhere. Like if you just hire anybody and you expect them to do a task and they know nothing about it, you either avoid them, you get mad at them, or you resent them. And I knew from past experiences, like I was like, oh, this person should just know exactly what to do. And just like the example that I just gave you with Maya and hair in general and life in general, that's just not how it goes. We all need a little bit of direction. We all need a little bit of mentoring. We all need a little bit of a coach and some type of community to lift us up, right? So back to the extension education and the marketing meeting with my person who I love. I said to her, I'm like, I just feel like I'm kind of missing the boat here. I keep sending out emails for the classes. I want more people to attend, but I'm realizing my pool of people already know how to do hair extensions. And the ones who do them really well are actually the ones who open up our emails. So in a world of a ton of hairstylists, right? We know there's a lot of hairstylists out there, just like there's a lot of nurses, doctors, engineers, baristas, like take your pick, right? There's a lot of people for every job. And with the extension business, our following on social media is almost to 5,000, which let me tell you has been a long and up and coming, very thought provoking and very kept to process on the daily to grow that business online. And so out of those almost 5,000, we have a little over 2,000 in our email bank list. And then we have around 1,200 some odd stylists that actually subscribe to our emails from that email list. And then we have a really good open rate. Our open rate is usually anywhere from 65 to 73% on those 1,200 stylists. The number there, right, is like 700 some odd stylists. And then the material that we post, they'll either click through or they won't, right? So email list, that's where it resides. And so when you think of all the experienced extension artists out there, and I give you that number, 65 to 73% of 1,200, which is like in the range of like 600 and say, let's just say 675. How many hairstylists there are on social media, and that's what's left opening the emails. You've really got to have this enticing hook to get them to come in and share their time with you in order to do that open. And think to yourself, there's so many more people out there who would benefit from this information that I'm sharing, because it's not just like, oh, hey, here's color number 35. No, we talk about everything with hair extensions. We talk about placements and, I mean, stitching, textures. I mean, this it it's endless, all the topics that we discuss when it comes to the extension line and our email. Like it's like a full on email education that's out there with our email list. And it's pretty awesome. So when you're thinking of all these components, and I'm telling her, I think I'm missing the boat. Like, I need to go and find new stylists who are just newbies into the field of hair and that are super serious about growing their career as a career, not as a hobby, not looking to do Aunt Joe, Aunt Sue in their kitchen. People who are like, I am going into this field and I am the one that's going to make money. That's how I was. I was like, I'm not doing hair for my health. I do hair because I love doing hair and it doesn't feel like work, but damn, I need to eat. I need a nice place to live. I like nice things. I like nice cars. I need to make money. And I need to figure out how I'm going to do that. So that's the stylist that we're like looking to find to take our education here. And she says to me, Jennifer, that's great. We need to target hair schools. We need to get the education into hair schools. And I'm like, brilliant. That's so brilliant because that's exactly who I love mentoring. That's who I love sharing my knowledge with. They are like sponges of new knowledge. And not to mention, the hair schools are not doing programs for hair extensions that are as detailed as mine. They're so basic. They're like touching on 5 different types of hair extensions in a 4-hour span. And you're just getting this, you're just scratching the surface of it. And so I'm like, geez, this is a really good idea. And we sat there and we brainstormed about how we were going to do this. And she's like, I'm going to have everything ready in a week when I come to you to get my hair done. Awesome. Perfect. And so when it comes to all these things with hair extensions and targeting the hair schools for our education, it is Of course, it's going to help the business of Adored Signature Hand-Tied Hair Extensions grow because they're going to learn more about us. But the beauty here is more the give back, right? I have been a stylist now for 33 years. I've been in the hair industry since I was 12. That makes that 38 years of being involved in the hair world because I started assisting, believe it or not, when I was 12 years old. And I have so much knowledge in my brain when it comes to everything that revolves around hair and the business side of growing your business. And I don't believe in being a hobby hairstylist. I believe in being a hairstylist as your professional career and treating it as such, because this business is one of those businesses in which you are going to get back what you put in. If you are motivated and you are a go-getter, you will succeed 100%. But you've got to be hungry. I'm just going to say it. And contrary to popular belief, because I know everybody's out there saying the hustle mentality is bad, this, the other, I don't give two shits what they say about that. You need to be a natural born hustler if you're going to own your own business. And you're like, well, okay, I'm not going to own my own business. I'm going to be a stylist in a salon. Correct. The salon is the business, but as a stylist, you are a business within a business. I don't care if you are a stylist within a commission salon or if you're a booth renter or if you're a suite renter. There's a business and you are a stylist and you need to build your own business to be the way that you want it to be. And being an extension artist and learning how to do the skills to be successful as an extension artist are above and beyond beauty school. Beauty school is also similar to the extension business that I told you beauty school teaches. Beauty school is prepping you to pass the state boards. They are giving you the basics in order to take your state board test and pass it. And then you go out into the world and you do your hairdresser thing, but you are going to need more education beyond that beauty school. Like it's like the tip of your toes touching in the water when it comes to hair. So thinking back to going to the hair school, what are the skills that we are going to teach in the hair school as far as extension goes? Well, number one, it's going to be the skill on how to install hair extensions. We're going to do social media. We're going to talk about coloring the wefts, like the breakdown that Maya had in the back room. We're going to teach the students in the school how to do this successfully so that they know the broken extension language that goes on in the salon, be it coloring wefts, stitching, styling, cutting. Like there's so many aspects to hair extensions that are so different from just hair, just coloring, cutting, and perming hair. Hair extensions is like plastic surgery for hair. So your mindset has to be at plastic surgery. Like if you want to do triple and quadruple what your peers are doing, you have to have a mindset that's going to be paid what triple or quadruple what your peers are getting paid on an hourly rate when you do hair extensions. So you need to elevate it. You also need to understand photography. If you see me looking off to the sides, I got notes over here. You also need to understand how this applies to straight and how this applies to curly. Now, the way that we teach Adored Signature hand-tied hair extensions install methods is that we cater to texture, but we cater to all textures, straight, wavy, curly. As far as it gets to kinky, that is kind of where it does drop off because hand-tied hair can only go so far. If it's too kinky, There's too much resistance when you're detangling, and it'll actually cause the hand-tied wefts to break down. But installing hand-tied wefts and installing machine-tied wefts, you can use the same thought process as what we teach in the install classes. Now, but the other aspect of that is niche, right? So beauty school, there's been quite this movement that beauty school needs to teach texture, because beauty school, like I said, is teaching you how to pass the state board and giving you so many hours of practical technical work. That's the basic: cutting, coloring, styling, perming, right? So there's been this whole movement of texture and beauty schools teaching texture. Now, the kind of texture that beauty schools are teaching on an extremely basic level are relaxers. They're not really teaching you about curly hair, especially curly hair that looks like mine. And this is a massive downfall when it comes to life, because 87% of the world has some form of wave to kink to their hair. And that means if you don't understand how to style this without frizz and have some sort of definition with the proper products, you are only catering to 13% of the world. And I don't know about you, but that's not a statistic that delivers a really positive bottom line amount, right? If you're only catering to 13% of the world, not to 87%, how are you going to take home the bacon so that you could have this awesome life, right? Like, you need to cater to 100% of the people. But you will also find more success if you niche down, right? And if you start out doing everything, learning everything, you are on your way to success, right? You learn what you like, what you don't like, but beauty school never gives you the opportunity to figure out if you like or don't like hair extensions or curly hair. And I'm here to tell you that hair extensions and curly hair are just growing. The hair extension industry in 2031, I believe the statistic is that it is going to be $15 billion. That's freaking insane. Insane. Curly hair alone, not the hair extensions, but just the world of curly, will be over $15 million of a business. And these statistics, these are for projected numbers for 2031, I believe. There are no stats on this from 2009 and before. That's insane. That's how fast that industry has grown because of the level of acceptance from 2009 to now. Okay, so that's 15 years of knowledge and 15 years of growth into a mega multi-million and billion-dollar industry. As a hairstylist, this is something you should want to be a part of because it's only going to grow, because 87% of the world has curly hair, and hair extensions is so mainstream that it's like carrying around a Louis Vuitton. It's like wearing Nike Jordans, right? And why? Because in the world of hair, you are not just selling hair. You are not just selling the outcome. What you are selling as a hairstylist at the end of the day is confidence. 100% confidence. Confidence is key in learning how to brand yourself and how to brand what you do as confidence, and not just as the industry or skill of hair or being a hairstylist is what's going to set you apart. How do you build confidence? Well, hell, you make that girl look hot as ever with her hair. Hot as ever. You add hair to it. You create the best cut on curly hair. You create separated and defined full looks with their curly hair. And you make them look like $1,000,000. And that is how you build your business. But it doesn't happen by chance. There is work involved. As you listened, if you listened to my last podcast with Chloe, which I know was quite a while ago, we've been busy around here. We talked about going viral and we talked about how hard Chloe and I have been working at this. And Chloe's account has totally taken off as like within the last 2 months. Like she has so many followers and people asking her about curly hair information. How does this relate back to the beauty school thing? Me talking about Chloe going viral on social media, because we all know how important social media is today with building a clientele. It's not the end all be all for a clientele, but it sure helps when you know how to speak the language to your clients. And that's finding your ideal client, finding your niche, delivering a message, working with their pain points, but figuring out through their pain points how to show them and deliver confidence at the end. Because ultimately, like I said, that's what they're looking for as a client. They want to love their hair, they want to love their reflection, they want you to help them get there. So you have to figure it out through these classes. So I talked about how hair extensions as a stylist will triple or quadruple, I mean, sometimes even more to what your potential income could be. And if you're telling me that I live in a small town and it's not going to happen, trust me, it's going to happen if you do the work, if you get the skills and you put the work in and you're consistent. Consistency as a stylist is key, and hard work and practice is also another component about it. So back to the classes, building community. We're also doing a mentorship with this program. We're going to help these young stylists with these things, social media, photography, skill building, practice, and being that coach to them to help them get over the hump. My team and I have been doing this all along, and we've been super successful at it. Now back to the viral with Chloe. When you are an extension artist, you can work less hours and make more money than working full time and just doing the average set of services behind the chair: color, cutting, highlighting, styling, perming. And don't get me wrong, I am not diminishing the value of those services. They're huge. And you need to understand those services in order to be an extension artist, because you need to know how to color hair and you need to understand how to match natural hair with hair extension hair and create the confidence that it looks so good, right? So I'm not diminishing that at all. I'm just talking to the person who wants to elevate their career and they want to live at that next level of income with their career. And so you're going to have to forgive me for a minute because I'm talking so fluidly that, of course, I forgot where I was going. Oh, okay. We're back to the virality of Chloe going viral. So here's the thing. As an extension artist, you work less hours because you make more. It's just the way it is, right? There's either 100 pennies in a dollar or 4 quarters in a dollar. I don't know about you, but I don't want to do 100 haircuts to get there. I'd rather do 4 to get to the same spot that the 100 equal, right? Like, so work smarter. You are going to work harder. I'm just going to say it. That's you're working smarter and you're working harder in the beginning to understand how it all comes together, but that's just life. You've got to hustle through it. You've got to make your mark and you've got to teach yourself the things that are going to teach you how to propel your career. And the things that I'm going to teach you and share with you are going to propel your career that much further, that much faster because I've done it. So when you work less hours, less clients, if you have a full book of extension clients, the statistic is that you only need 48 clients. That's freaking crazy. But that is it. That's what you need. If you want to work 3 days a week and you want to make a lot of money, that's what you need to do. You could, of course, work more and you could take on more, but you probably will burn yourself out because extensions are harder work, but they're a higher dollar amount. So, of course, they're harder and they should be harder. And you should want to perfect those skills day in and day out so that you're doing it at this high level. Okay, so back to Chloe, the girl that's going viral in the salon and what she's done. She has posted consistently since she has started working with me anywhere from 4 to 7 days a week. She delivers value driven content with education and she understands how to create a viral reel to create growth for herself. This is so crazy, but her reels that are about diffusing, off the charts. There's the most least amount of content in those, and they are the ones that explode. And they're typically under 7 seconds, but she's figured out the secret formula to create that. And it just goes crazy. And the downside there is that a lot of people believe that diffusing is the end all be all with curly hair. And it's only one little aspect of the whole technique. And it's just getting the hair dry. Like the other end is the product, the technique of the separation and defining the curls, creating the curls. Like there's so much that goes on besides diffusing, but diffusing seems to be what everybody wants to see if you want to grow your account as a curly specialist. The kicker, the absolute kicker is that Chloe has poker straight hair. Like she is that 13% that does not have an ounce of wave in her hair. And she has branded herself as a curly specialist working here and doing hair for a little over 3 years, I want to say. And so with this growth of this account has come an influx of DMs. And so her and I were talking in our one-on-one meetings, and she's like, yeah, like this is crazy. I'm spending so much time in my DMs at night after work. It's kind of overwhelming. And I'm like, okay, well, let's get this automated for you. Because odds are most people are asking, what products do you use, right? Like they want to know about the products. So let's create a funnel. Let me help you with this. Let's make a PDF of your top 6 products that you love to use and why. They comment on your reel, curls, right? And this PDF automatically gets sent to them through their messages, right? And then you collect their email. And then, like, let's take it one step further. Do virtual consults because, like, they see you as a brand, like you're like now at an influencer level with this following. She's like, do you think I could do that? I'm like, hell yeah, I think you could do that. I think you could do that all damn day long. Like people are doing it on TikTok and charging an obscene amount of money. I can't remember if we did Chloe's virtual consults at $30 for a half an hour or 50 for a half an hour. But regardless, that's what they want is. This funnel has been live for less than a week and Chloe had her first consult today. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting for you. I can't even believe it. I'm so excited for you, Chloe. Take pictures, photograph yourself having this consult because I want to share about it. And I was on a phone call with in another meeting, and I see her message come through, and she's like, holy shit, this consult just turned into a brand new extension client. And I was like, yep. And how does that happen? That's because you got to think out of the box. You've got to think of new age ways to advertise yourself. You've got to think of new things that nobody else is doing. Well, we just created it with her, and it was a success. If she gets no other consults for the rest of the month, she'll be totally happy because she just gained a brand new extension client. And honestly, one extension client for a year of services typically is going to be around $7,000 to $8,000 of revenue into the salon and into the stylist, because that client typically is going to need hair more than once in a year. The client needs raises every 6 to 8 weeks, and the client also needs their hair colored. And sometimes they're going to come in and have it styled so that they don't have to do it. It is one of the biggest ticketed items within the salon. I mean, that number within itself is enough to make most people gasp. Like, but people will go to the ends of the earth to get good hair. If they got bad hair, they want good hair. If they don't have a lot of hair, they'll buy more hair because it's actually an option today. Second story of virality. So a couple weeks ago, I get a message from another hairstylist in New York, and she was messaging me about the education. I don't even think she follows me on Instagram. I think she only follows me through Facebook. And she was telling me her troubles that she's experiencing. And I'm like, well, I said, I know you're the one wearing the hair, but would you and your friend want to take the education so the person installing your hair could understand what I do and why? She's like, no, I want you to do my hair. And I'm like, but you live in New York. And I have people that come in from other states for me to do their extensions, but typically Indiana, Wisconsin, Iowa, still within Illinois, but drive up from Southern Illinois. I've not yet had someone fly in for me to do their hair. So, well, at least extensions. I do have clients that fly in for curly haircuts, which is pretty cool. But this is the first time for extensions that I'm getting an actual fly-in client for them. And so I at first was kind of like, oh my gosh, the pressure is on. She can only come like on these dates. And so, and she is not taking no for an answer. She wants her hair done by me. And, if someone's going to deliver, let it be me. At this point, I guess I've made a name for myself in the curly world with hair extensions, and her hair is naturally curly. She's wearing permed hair extensions from China. She hates them. They are destroying her hair. And I'm going to deliver, hopefully, the best possible service with her hair that she's ever seen, because she's flying here and staying overnight for me to do it. So, whew, that was a lot for me to talk about in one episode. But if you can understand all of that wrapped up into one, why I would want to approach the beauty schools with all the knowledge that I have, it's one, because I love mentoring. I am at this stage in my career where I have so many like it's like muscle memory, not just on the board. Like I have done so many things so many times over that I understand the workings enough of it to teach it. Hopefully they understand my broken extension language. Actually, in class, I'm really good about not having broken extension language. But regardless, I love mentoring, I love educating, and bringing this back into the school is going to get them into what is actually being done outside in the real world, in the world of hair. It is going to be teaching them this upper level skill with hair extensions. It's going to create a sense of community for them to learn after the fact and mentorship to help them get through to building their client and learning the ins and outs of all these things that now we need to know about as hairstylists: email marketing, social media, photography, um, practicing, repetition, curly hair, straight hair, niche driven. Like there's so much stuff that's out there that 33 years ago would have made my head spin, because 33 years ago, cell phones just were invented. Email wasn't even a thing. My God, internet was not a thing. If you could believe that I built a really successful clientele without internet at all, no social media. I know it's even hard for me to believe that I'm actually the age that I am, but regardless, I am the age that I am. I've got a lot of information to share. I'm so excited about this. The press release is going to be going out sometime this week, and we are going to be hitting the streets doing it old school. Phone calls to the beauty schools, phone calls to get my foot in the door, getting my foot in the door, not just sending a resume and praying for the best, but actually going in with a presentation on how the school and the students are going to benefit from the education that I have to deliver. Now, my end goal for it all is to have the ability to, are you ready for it? I am hoping that 20% of the cost of the class for the students will be able to be given back in the form of a scholarship for a student that wants to be in beauty school, that has all the odds against her, that really needs that money to get into that school because she's a single mom, because she doesn't come from the best background. She doesn't have a lot of financial backing. She doesn't have parents who are pushing her, in the direction in which she needs to go. She doesn't have support, and she needs the support. She knows she wants to do hair, but she just really doesn't know how to make it happen. That's my end goal for it, is to not only give back in the form of education and mentoring, but actually give back to the person who needs this for her life to become better, for her life to be in a place that she never even could see as possible. That's my goal with this. I'm getting goosebumps. Are you? Like, I don't know if you guys can see them, but they're really big. And if you listen to my first podcast, Who is Jennifer Janish, you could 100% understand why that would be my end goal for this. Actually, it's not my end goal. It's just my goal for it to grow and grow and grow. And my little story about Chloe is also, this is a commission-based salon that I own. And commission-based salon owners kind of have a bad rap right now because everybody's like, they take all the money, they don't help their stylists, they're greedy, they're this, they're that. Listen, we're not all like that. A lot of us want the best for their employees, and a lot of us want to see their employees grow. A lot of us are not in it just for the profit margin. A lot of us are in it because we love doing this, and we wanted to create the best atmosphere. And the story with Chloe is me continually helping her to be her best possible self, because God knows she gives back to me on a regular basis to help me become my best possible self. So you've got to search out the good salon owners, and a commission-based salon can really be a godsend for a lot of people, because there's so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes that some stylists can't even wrap their heads around it. And a commission salon is a great way to help you build your business within a business. Working in a commission salon is not like I like when I say it has a bad rap, there's a lot of positive things about a commission-based salon. I personally have always only worked in a commission-based salon, and that's just the model that I wanted. And I also went into it knowing that my goal for my salon was to help all the stylists that come through my door be in a better place and hopefully stay with me forever. I know that that's like a pipe dream, but my team right now is so amazing that, like, I just love coming in all the time. I love working with them. They all inspire me. Chloe, Celia, Alyssa, Jackie, Janet, Julie, London, my daughter, like they're Tanya, my daughter Karina works on social media. There's all these things that go on in here that are future stepping stones to the rest of their lives. And I just hope that I'm always a part of it, because they lift me up to no end and help me with so many different things. And I hope that I help them too, because this is a beautiful business to be a part of. The world of hair and creating confidence, and just there's nothing like a stylist that walks around with confidence, and nothing like a client of the salon that leaves with a whole different look on her face, like standing in her own, knowing she owns it, loving her curls, loving her hair, confident that next interview she's going to kill it because she has what it takes. And sometimes it just starts with hair. So that's the end of today. Hope that shed some light on the things that are going on and why we've been so busy around here. And say a prayer for me, and hope that I have what it takes to do this new chapter with the salon and the extensions and hair schools. So see you later. Follow me on social, on Instagram at Jennifer_Johnson_Janish, at Adored Salon for the salon, and at Adored_Signature_Hand-Tied_Hair for the extension line. Facebook, it's all the same. You can follow me anywhere. And hopefully I'm going to be a little bit more consistent again with these podcasts. So see you later.